Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to episode 9 of Sonic Boom TV. This will be a review episode. Today we will be talking about LA Guns, Riot on Sunset, the best of. This is not going to be the best review of this, but we'll get to that in a minute. I just want to start with saying that LA Guns is probably one of my favorite bands of the whole 80s kind of hair metal, glam kind of thing. They were a little less of that. I mean, they were more kind of sleazy, if you ask me. But they were every bit as good as Guns N' Roses, as far as I'm concerned. Tracy Guns was in Guns N' Roses, and he's the Guns part of Guns N' Roses, as far as stories I've heard go. So, Axl Rose was Rose, and he was Guns. But he moved on, and he formed this band with Phil Lewis and some others. I don't know if Phil Lewis was even actually in the band at the beginning. I didn't research that like I should have. But regardless, this band had... The songs were there. They just... I don't know if it was the subject matter. It was a little too raw for radio at the time or what. But their first 3 albums were really, really good. And that's the era I like of them. And then I kind of lost track of them for a while, and I've been trying to find stuff by them, and it's not easy to find records as far as around here. I found, a few things at the library. They had CDs and stuff like that, so I've listened to a few things, but not everything yet, and I'm working on it. But anyway, I saw this, the local record store in New Orleans, Euclid Records. They put an advertisement up on their Instagram showing new titles that they got in, and they had this, and I was like, oh man. At first I thought it was the first album because of this logo, which this is a weird thing that LA Guns likes to use this logo. They've used it as this and several different forms of this, different colors sometimes and whatever, on several different albums. So sometimes it's too much, but when I saw it, I immediately thought it was that album, and then I noticed the words at the bottom. I was like, oh no, that's something else. And so I wanted to go get it because it said the best of, and I figured that was going to be some of those early songs that I haven't been able to get on vinyl. And so, I didn't have the money at that time, but the guy said, don't worry, we have a lot of copies, and if you can come a week or two or whatever, you'll probably still be able to get it. So about 2 weeks ago, I guess, I went over there and I get it. And the first thing I noticed is it had the, let me put that down. It had a little sticker thing on it, and it said purple vinyl. And I was thinking, why purple? I mean, the artwork is black, red, silver, and blue. Should be one of those colors. And I know this isn't the band that did this. It's somebody at the record company just trying to make a fancy color for people to buy, but to me it should fit with the artwork of the album. So anyway, and it also says, if you can see that, I don't know if you guys can see it, simulation only as far as the color goes for purple vinyl, and it's not really that same color. The picture on here is much darker than what it actually is, and I'll show it to you. It's sort of it's translucent purple, but it kind of looks a little pink, especially on this video. And it's kind of got a little swirl in it, sort of. I don't know if that's showing up either, but that's that. So when I get there, I didn't show you the price of this thing was. If you can see that. Oh, you probably can't. The glare is too much. Anyway, that says $39.99. That's entirely too much for a record. Especially a greatest hits record. And so I'm walking around with it, and I'm going to get it because I don't have any LA Guns on vinyl, and I haven't seen anything except for that demos thing that they have out. I think it's 4 or 5 songs. And I don't really like that one that much because it's, it wasn't that good. It was before they really got going. But I get there and I'm looking at it, and and it's got Rip and Tear, Slap in the Face, The Ballad of Jane, Electric Gypsy, Sex Action, Showdown, Riot on Sunset, which they use for the title, Ritual, One More Reason, Never Enough, Letting Go, Bitches Back, and Hollywood Tease. And I believe it's Ritual was the one there's an extra song. All the songs are from the first two albums, and I was like, well, that's great because I can't really get those other ones right now, unless I go on Discogs and pay a ridiculous price for the first two albums. But here I'll get 5 songs from each album and have an extra one to go, So I'm looking at it, and on the back, it's got the band, Phil Lewis on vocals, Steve Riley on drums, Kelly Nichols on bass, Tracy Guns on guitar, and Nick Cripps on guitar. That's the classic lineup. And I was like, wow, said, that's cool. Get to the counter, and the guy, I'll show you the inside too. The guy says, hey, I just want to warn you, these are re-recordings of the album. I mean, the songs, not the album, the songs. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, did the original members record this? And he's like, yeah, I think so, and I kind of, when I got home, I was like, man, it's going to be, I don't know what this is going to be. It's re-recordings usually don't sound that different as far as the songs that I know that I have, unless they're like a demo or something, or they're doing something totally new, with it. But as far as like sometimes they have the original drummer and then they use the new drummer and it doesn't sound much different. Well, I couldn't find anything about this online. It was like, what is this album? And I hadn't opened it yet, but I was going to. And so I looked and I couldn't find anything except that it is readily available in a lot of places for $26.97, and I even saw one place that had it for $23. So I don't know why my record store had it so expensive, but I'm definitely having buyer's remorse on this. It's I'm not bringing it back. I would never do that, but I just was like, oh man, this is not doing it for me what it is. So I opened it up and I play it, and these songs sound like demo versions almost of they're not even close to the originals. This. I mean, the songs, but they're different, and especially the Ballad of Jane, which was a perfect song as far as I'm concerned. It's different. It's and it's Phil Lewis singing because his voice is pretty distinctive, but there's nothing in this record that says re-recordings. Nothing in there. There's no liner notes or anything. It just came with a record and a plain white sleeve. And I looked online and I found a couple people that kind of reviewed it, and there was one that even questioned whether or not it was the original band members or the classic lineup band members that did this. And I have to agree that I don't know because there's no information. I feel like this company who put this out, which is Deadline, I don't know if you can see that. I gotta figure a way to make this better for up close viewing. But Deadline is the Deadline Music. It's a division of Cleopatra Records. They put this out, and I feel like they're deceiving people with it, because, I mean, it's not that it's bad. I'm not saying that, because I like it as far as, knowing that it's other versions of the songs. It's not, that doesn't hurt my feelings or anything, but what does is that it didn't say anything on there. It doesn't show who played on it. It doesn't tell you anything. And so you get something you're not expecting. This is not the best of, because it's not the original versions of the songs. So they just sound different. They don't. I don't know. It's like it's like I said. It sounds like early demo versions of these songs. That would be okay if it was like a second disc in the set. You know, if there was like the regular version and then this, it would be perfectly great. But for $39.99, they didn't tell me anything about it. Can't find anything about it. Apparently, there's another version that came out earlier. This came out in like 2012. It's I think red vinyl. There may be a black vinyl too. I don't know. I didn't look all that up, but I know there's a red version because when I looked this up, they had it was advertised as red vinyl, but it was also purple vinyl. It said so. Then the picture showed the purple. But you know, I would advise to try to listen to it before you buy this if you're going to go out there and buy it, because you might not like it, and it's definitely not going to be the songs that you know we grew up listening to if you were into LA Guns back then. You know, they actually LA Guns was Cocked and Loaded. Their second album was the second or third CD that I ever bought in my life. I had bought funny. I bought NXS Kick before I even had a CD player, and then when I bought the CD player a couple days later, I bought LA Guns, Cocked and Loaded, and Poison's Flesh and Blood, and so that's always a fun memory for me. I wish I would have kept those boxes that the CDs used to come in. I had a bunch of those, and they're probably worth something. Who knows? I mean, but I used them as posters on my wall for a long time, and then I don't know, I moved or something, and I just threw them away, which was dumb. But anyway, so you know, it's a good album. Let's say that it's a good album for what it is, but they should take this part off. It should not say the best of. It should just say Riot on Sunset, or Riot on Sunset re-recordings, or something just to let you know that it's not the original versions. Because if that guy wouldn't have told me, you know, I would have just been like, what in the world is going on with this? And there's nothing to find online about it as far as I can tell, unless I'm looking up the wrong thing. But anyway, check it out if you're interested in this band. Maybe the purple's from Phil Lewis's little shirt thing there. I don't know. But you know, if you're a fan of the band, check this out. You probably will like it. It's not bad. It's just different. It's different versions. Like I said, sounds kind of like demos. It's readily available online for $26. But just don't expect it to be the original versions that you're looking for, because this is not it. And that's it. That's all I got to say about this one, guys. Probably went on longer than I needed to. But LA Guns. And if anybody's got the first 3 albums on vinyl and they want to give them to me, I'll take them. Because I've been looking for those, but haven't found them yet. Not locally. I mean, I could probably find them online, but I don't like doing that. So anyway, that's it for episode 9. And I'll be doing a couple more this week, I think. So check it out.